that He will give each one of us the Holy Spirit. The same Spirit, Holy Spirit that overshadowed the Blessed Virgin Mary, or the same Holy Spirit that we are celebrating on the Pentecost, and now that the Spirit dwelt in each one of us. And because the Word, as Jesus mentioned in the last passage today, the Word did not see or even know Him, but we, as the baptizers, and we believe that Jesus will send us and give us the grand advocate to be with each one of us always, that is the Spirit of truth. And we can see and even realize His power, His guidance for each one of us on this journey of life. Therefore, as the liturgy of the sixth Sunday of Easter tells each one of us and give us the promise of Jesus Himself, the gift of the Holy Spirit. First and foremost, we may realize that the Holy Spirit is the one who unites each one of us as the members of the church to become one body in the very person of Jesus Himself. When we talk about the first reading today from the book of the Acts of the Apostles, tells each one of us that the work of the apostles after Jesus' resurrection, they continue to proclaim and baptize the people, even the Gentiles. And when we know what also do this, I would like to summarize also the series of the gospel passages from last Monday and this Saturday. It's not all about the Jesus invitation to each one of us to remain in Him, and especially keep His commandments. As the book of the apostles follow and obey to the instruction of Jesus Himself to proclaim His resurrection to all the Gentiles and to the whole world, and baptize them in the name of the very person of Jesus Himself. And now is the gift of the Holy Spirit continue to give them strength and courage to extend the word of the commands of Jesus Himself to the whole world. And the Holy Spirit also is given to each one of us when we were baptized in the name of the Trinity, God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And we receive the fulfillment of the Holy Spirit through the sacrament of confirmation. The gifts of the Holy Spirit does not simply the same gifts as we know, understanding, piety, etc. But remember, the Holy Spirit Himself that is given to each one of us. Therefore, we see that first and foremost, as I have mentioned, the Holy Spirit will be the one who unites each one of us as the members of the church to become one body in Jesus Himself. And the second thing we need to realize also, the power of the Holy Spirit and the work of the Holy Spirit give each one of us an obedience of faith. One of the things that when I listen or hear the confession during for the first communion of the children, after they confess their sins to me, I just ask them simply the question, do you know Jesus? Because they just simply said on His own, on His own. That's why I cannot give the other advices. But I just asked him, do you know Jesus? And I was amazed one of the answers of the children. Father, I know Him, and I love Him more than I love my parents and the others. The same person for each one of us in the last passage today. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. How about when the question will be extended to each one of us? Do you know Jesus? Be sure our answer is this. But do we keep His commandments? It is a question for each one of us to ponder. Because the Holy Spirit gives each one of us power, for each one of us to respond to God's love, to Jesus' love, to an obedience of faith. And what is our obedience mean? Follow His commandments. Through the word that we not just know Him on our lips, but we express our love for Him in our daily life journey through observing the commandments of the Lord. And the third point also we realize that the Holy Spirit, the advocates also give us the courage to give witness not only to our Christian faith, but to our Christian home. As we listen to the second reading today, that is visa of St. Peter invites us that always be ready to give an explanation to everyone who asks you for a reason of your hope. See, the Holy Spirit gives one of us also the strength and the understanding and the knowledge to explain our Christian hope. Because we, in this journey of life, we not only hope for our better future, not only in this life, but there is the Christian hope that we get in this life, the hope of our future resurrection. That is why we must ready and be firm in our faith to give explanation to our brothers and sisters, especially those who lose their hope, especially those who lose their faith in Jesus Himself and in our future resurrection. And we can see